Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be looking at the 24th Commitments of Trade report of 2020. And as we always do, we're going to start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before I start the review, if you are new to COT Commitments of Traders data, then you can find some very useful material here at COT Base. If you check on that help icon over there, you will find some great tutorial videos, educational materials on the Commitments of Traders data. You can also find some very useful written materials, and we've got a resources page where you may find some recommended books and links as well. If you are new to this YouTube channel, you might want to subscribe. That would support our channel. Thank you very much. Starting off with copper, where we have that 17% change in commercials positions. You can see that change on the charts over here. It's definitely greater than average, but nothing too unusual. You may see we've witnessed larger changes in the past. It is a bearish COT change signal suggesting some weakness ahead of us early next week. If we move on to the 5 years chart, we get a wider time frame and understand more easily how the COT Extreme situation is. We are getting closer to bearish extreme levels. Of course, it could rise further. If you check over here from 2018, June of 2018, we had that beautiful bearish COT Extreme just at that top. Of course, we can find multiple examples of successful bearish COT Extremes, some relative bearish extremes. We are at those levels right now, suggesting in the medium to long term, possibly even now, we may see a shift downwards. Moving on to the Minneapolis wheat, we have a 13% change over there in commercials positions. And if we switch back to the 1 year chart, you can see that change size over here. A bit larger than average, but I wouldn't consider this such a huge signal. So you can see comparing it to previous weeks, month, it's not that big. It is a bearish COT change signal suggesting further weakness, but I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that because of the size, basically. And if we move on to the 5 year chart, you can see that we're moving away from this bullish COT Extreme level that was in the market right now. Not much of a reaction from the market. We're moving away from those levels. I wouldn't consider this market to be that interesting, at least from the COT report's perspective. The Australian dollar is our next market with a 10% change in commercials positions. You can see that change size in a minute. Here we go. You can see it over here. Again, larger than average, no question. But as you may see, we've witnessed greater changes multiple times throughout the past 52 weeks. Again, suggesting weakness coming early next week. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you may see that we are still a bit closer to bullish extreme levels. But definitely not at those significant bearish extreme levels. So that's something you should keep in mind. So not much over here again. But moving on to large speculators COT Extreme, we may find the euro and the dollar index on top of our list. Starting off with the euro, where we have that 107 report extreme in large speculators. Basically, they are at roughly 100,000 contracts net long level. Commercials being almost 140,000 contracts net short. This is a bearish COT Extreme. There's no question to it. It's quite obvious. If you look at the chart, you may see how well the report pinpointed that top in the euro market back in 2018. We are going gradually getting closer and closer to those levels. There's maybe a few more weeks of continued trend in traders positions, and we would reach those very high extreme levels. So that's something you should keep in mind. Can tell you the story whether or not the euro may face some weakness in the medium to long term, possibly at this point in time. We will see. Of course, if we open the dollar index, where of course in this index, the basket of major currencies, the euro is representing the largest amount, we are not surprised to see a sort of just an opposite picture. Here we have 104 report extreme in large speculators, and in this case we are talking about more of a bullish COT Extreme. So you may see once again going back to this 2018 area, where we had that bullish. It has been going on for many months before the market actually reacted. So that's something you should keep in mind regarding COT Extreme signals. Nevertheless, we are in that territory, suggesting that the weakness that we've witnessed in the dollar since March of this year may actually end, and we could see further strengthening in the dollar. We talked about the copper market. We're going to jump over that and finish off this review with corn, where we have a 57 report extreme in large speculators, which in itself, if you don't look at the charts, would not, so you wouldn't think it's an extreme to talk about. But this is a good example why you should always open the charts, because visually it's more easy to see, because the report extreme means that you haven't seen such an extreme for 57 report, but that's basically this April of 2019 area. But if maybe next week that would actually mean that we may reach a close to all-time extreme level. So visually, you may see there's an unquestionable bullish COT extreme in this market. Similar levels from April 2019 were just before that rise in the market. Again, of course, we may see multiple examples of bullish COT extreme coming just when the market is reaching a bottom. So it doesn't mean that this is the bottom. We've been actually building up this bullish extreme for quite some time. We have moved away from those levels. It doesn't mean that we can't, check those lower levels again. Nevertheless, what we can conclude from this report is that the stress levels in corn market are rising to the bullish extreme side. That's for sure. Anyways, this was the brief review for this week. Of course, there's plenty of more to do at COT Base. If you'd like, you can look at all the markets available. I'm always showing you just a few market categories. In this review, you may look at the new COT report types, other data types, and of course, dig deeper in the analysis with all the tools that we offer. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me. Have a great weekend. Take care. Goodbye.